Hello and welcome to the Atacama Desert. We are quite literally in the middle of nowhere. This extremely remote corner of Chile is the driest place on Earth. The average rainfall for September? It's 0. We are here to race for the Antofagasta Copper X Prix, and there's a fair chance the title could be decided on this very course. Let's take a look at the championship calendar. First stop this season was Saudi Arabia, and it was Rosberg X Racing who mastered the desert. Next up, a doubleheader in Sardinia. Wildfire was the focus for round 1, and there was a fair bit of drama as well, as you will see. Round 2, we were talking about seagrass as RXR were back on the top step, and here we are in Chile, before the season finale in Uruguay on the 26th and 27th of November. Friday in Extreme E means practice and shakedown. It's the first time the drivers will get to see the course, and it's the first time we get to see if they're any good. Now a driver pairing who are always good, and were very, very good in Sardinia as well. It's Excite Energy Racing's Timo Scheider and Tamara Molinaro. How is Chile treating you so far, Timo?
Nice so far, and we can't wait to hit the track because this looks amazing.
It really does. Tamara, how are you doing?
All good, thank you. I just can't wait to drive, really.
I know, it's looking amazing. Track walk yesterday, what did you learn? How much does this course suit you?
Well, with my background, I have to say this is what I love to. It's pretty quick, it's 50 meters wide, 5 jumps and stuff like this. We'll need a bit of adrenaline as well here and there. I think you can make a difference on some places, but I'm also expecting tight racing, I have to say.
And overtaking opportunities galore, it looks like.
Yeah, it definitely does. I hope this track will be suiting me as well. Normally in rallying, I'm better at fast sections, so let's see.
We shall see indeed. Now, of course, looking back to Sardinia, you got the first podium for Excite Energy Racing in Extreme E and made good on your promise as well to get matching tattoos. Come on, get them out.
Okay, so here we go. So here it is, down there. It's a chemical composition of adrenaline. Say it in English.
Adrenaline.
Adrenaline. What the hell? I have a tongue problem. This is Tamara on the ribcage, and yeah, I think we have been fighting to find the right tattoo quite a bit. After we have been just joking about it, but then it was serious. So he came up with the idea of putting adrenaline, and I have to say it's just matching us two perfectly. So yeah, now we have it.
I love it. I have to say, I may get a matching one myself.
Yeah, I would love to see you as well. So let's make another bet. So if we end up P1, you put the tattoo as well.
Ooh, I'm not willing to commit to that on air.
Now it's your turn.
Anyway, so I'm going to leave Excite Energy Racing here. Thank you very much to both of you guys. Well, as we look ahead to a potentially title-deciding weekend, let's take a look at the season so far and catch up with our championship leaders, Rosberg X Racing.
The title is on the line in Chile, and our season so far has been full of drama. Season 2 began in the otherworldly landscape of Saudi Arabia. In the final, a huge collision between Neon McLaren and RXR brought out the red flag. Despite having damage, when the racing restarted, RXR hunted down their rivals and took the first win of the season. The next stop on our electric odyssey saw an adrenaline-fueled double-header on the stunning island of Sardinia. RXR ended X44's unbeaten qualifying record as they continued their dominant streak en route to the 5-car final. Off the start, it was RXR and Acciona Sainz who got the advantage. Christopherson went right, Sainz went left. And when the racing lines came together, chaos ensued.
Oh, contact! Massive shot! Massive shot! I think that's Christopherson into Sainz.
Rosberg X Racing crossed the finish line first, but their collision saw them receive a post-race penalty, handing Chip Ganassi Racing their maiden Extreme E victory. Round 3 in Sardinia saw RXR battling back with an impeccable racing performance. And in the final, it was a daring dive into the water by Michaela Arling-Koselinski that saw RXR take the lead and a well-deserved victory. With a 32-point advantage in the championship standings and with a maximum of 30 points up for grabs at an X Prix, can the chasing pack close the gap? Or will RXR leave Chile as back-to-back Extreme E champions?
In Extreme, anything can happen. So we need to stay on our toes, we need to stay focused, keep doing what we've been doing so far, just trying to do the very best that we can and prepare as well as we can. For me, it would mean just so much to win this championship. I just, I get butterflies now just talking about it. It would be simply amazing.
The closest rivals behind us in the championship is X44, Chip Ganassi Racing and Acciona Science. Of course we feel the pressure. I mean, leading the championship, we will try to do our absolute best and focus on ourselves. But at the same time, there's high pressure on the teams behind us because they are the ones that have to catch us.
So Rosberg X Racing may be leading the way as things stand, but second, and chasing them down, it is number 99 Hummer EV Chip Ganassi Racing's Sarah Price and Carla Duke. Good to see you guys here in Chile, and I've just stumbled across them watching some onboard laps, some track walk laps. Talk me through what you're doing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We have the Hummer EV here, so it's kind of a good space for me and Kyle to go in and review video, and we have the steering wheel and also the brake pedal and the throttle, so it's almost like being in the actual race car.
How much are you learning from doing this kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, we only get 2 laps, and then we get another session today, but technically by the end of the day, we should have about 30 or 40 laps into it. So it's good to sit there and have that good video and content to review, learn, get faster and better.
Let's talk about the course. How much does it suit you both?
I absolutely love the course. I think it's definitely a Kyle's course, and I come from a little bit of short course and kind of a background of all sorts of racing, so definitely good with the passing stuff, and there's a lot of that ability here, so that's exciting, and I think it's going to make really good racing. It's also fast. It's a fun track. You're getting to slide some corners. You're also getting to find traction, and yeah, you get to move around a lot out there.
I'm excited for some big overtakes this weekend. Kyle, how are you going to spoil the Rosberg X Racing party?
We're going to do everything we can to do that. We've talked about points, looking at getting second in points or trying to get the lead. We just need to win some races. So obviously we need to bring a race car back every time to do that. So that's priority number 1. But bring back a super fast race car and push the limits to he's not going to make mistakes. He's a good race car driver. So is Timmy, so is Seb, all these guys are. So it'll be good for me to challenge them and then her to challenge the other female drivers. So straight up racing, this is going to be good, door to door. No pressure. Everybody says it's my kind of track. I don't want that kind of pressure, but
well, we're putting the pressure on.
Yeah, I see that. No, it's just going to be fun. It's going to be great. There's a lot of inside-out racing passes. I was talking to Kevin a little while ago, or Timmy, and there's some good spots. It's going to be exciting.
Oh, I'm excited now. You've well and truly whet my appetite. You guys are about to head on to track, so enjoy it out there, learn what you can, and who better to review all the action out there than Extreme aficionados Andrew Coley and Jenny Gow.
Time then for the drivers to learn another new track. This one a little bit shorter than those we've seen before, so they'll actually be doing 4 laps of the circuit, 2 for each driver, switch zone in the middle as normal. And first up, Jenny, was Excite Energy Racing.
Yep, our subs that are now got full-time seats and tattoos to match as well. There's plenty of excitement to look forward to them on this course. And as you say, Andrew, what are we looking out for on a shorter course? What does it actually mean?
I think we're going to see a little bit more track degradation because we're looking at, in terms of car laps, a lot more. Last year we had 9 cars, 2 laps each. You're looking at 18 laps on course. This year, 10 cars, 4 laps each session. So expect the braking zones to break up a little bit more. But I think also look at these jumps. There are a number of very spectacular jumps in here, and as you'll see through the course of this program, 1 or 2 people got caught out.
Yeah, next up it was the Apt Cupra car, and you can see a little dust kicking up, but as you say, lots of obstacles into the traction challenge for Jutta. But have a look what happens here. Takes a lot of air and just dumps in the front.
Now watch the fluid pouring out of the bottom here. Here's a rear shot of it. So hard to tell whether Jutta went over it too quickly. We saw other cars taking less air, or whether she lifted off the throttle. And you'll watch as the front bumper comes off, you see the steering's broken. Jutta got out of the car. She walked away from the accident. She looked a little uncomfortable, but she was in good spirits, and she's gone off for a few more checks. So it was quite a big impact, Jenny, there, nose down on the car, and hopefully we'll see her racing tomorrow.
New colour scheme this weekend for the X44 car, the Vida Carbon X44 racing team. Out there, it was Gutierrez and Logan once again showing their class.
This is one of the sections where I think we might see the Innova Hyperdrive used. It's very wide there, but for me, only the right-hand line is super smooth. Again, if people start using a bit more of the track, look here on the right, you can see how bumpy it is. There's kind of one racing line at the minute. Of course, Q1, we'll see the cars go one at a time, but Q2, we'll see them racing together. So they're going to have have to find alternate lines if they want to make those passes, and I am expecting to see passes on this course.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity, I think, to get yourself slingshotting round another car. When there are 5 cars on track, it's going to be an absolute bonanza out there, and we will see all sorts of different variations, I think.
Yeah, particularly off the start, Jenny. So the straight is just not as long as we've seen, and I'll be honest, I've been longing for a track like this. Talking about long straights, I really want it. It's a relatively short straight into 2 turns, a left and a right, and there's so much elevation change. I just think you're going to see loads of argy-bargy off the start, so can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. Look at it. There's angles, there's banking, a little bit like Zandvoort if you've recently watched the Dutch Grand Prix. There's height, there's elevation, 30-metre jumps towards the end, which is going to really test everybody on how they finish.
Yeah, this is the big jump here over the finish line. This one can be taken absolutely flat chat, but the previous one, you'll notice Sebastian Loeb, who's at the wheel here after Cristina Gutierrez on the first run, he squashed the jump. He just took a bit of energy out of the jump before he took off. And now, of course, championship leaders RXR. Brilliant performance by them. If it wasn't for the little bit of contact, well, okay.
Little bit of contact.
I think massive contact was what I said, wasn't it, at the time? Between them and Acciona Science, of course, they would have won all 3 events, Jenna. They've got a huge championship lead. But if you look at the UK last year when Molly and Johan were in that position, it's not always easy to stay relaxed because you don't want to throw it away. With a lead like this, you feel like it's yours to lose, and that increases the pressure. And
worth noting, Arlen Kotelinski hasn't done this before because, of course, last year it was Molly going for the championship. So she's nervous, and that's going to add to this weekend's tension. But her and Kristoffersen have a 32-point lead. They need to leave here with an advantage of at least 31 to secure the championship and become 2-time world champions.
Yeah, they could do that, of course, an event early, as long as all goes according to plan. They will have a plan. Everybody has a plan until they get to turn 1.
Yep, they certainly do. Next up, it's the Genesis Andretti United team of Munnings and Hansen. Now, they need a little bit of luck. At the moment, they seem to just be going, I know, a little bit of bad luck every single round, which has derailed their hopes of this championship challenge.
Yeah, and it's a shame as well, particularly I think Katie has for me, come on in leaps and bounds this year in terms of pace. And here in this session, at this point in the session, she went some 10, 15 seconds quicker than any of the female drivers have done. They're all running in the same order. Of course, we'll see what order they choose to pick tomorrow. But it was a brilliant lap by her before she handed over to Timmy Hansen. So they're due a change in fortune.
They are. There's no camel dust around here, no big clumps to derail them. So fingers crossed, all of those 5 cars have a decent weekend.
Well, last year, Extreme E completed a world first, delivering an international broadcast from the base of the Arctic ice sheet in Greenland. This year, Hedda Hossas and Kevin Hansen, who himself picked up a podium at that race last year in Greenland, returned to the Arctic to check out the legacy programs 1 year on.
Last year, Extreme E set up a series of legacy projects at the local school in the small town of Kangerlussuaq. The projects included the installation of solar panels outside of the school gates, as well as helping implement climate into the curriculum in Greenlandic, so it was accessible to all.
Hello kids, it's nice to see you. And we've been looking forward to this day, haven't we?
This year, the drivers, along with Professor Richard Washington, who is part of Extreme E's scientific committee, returned to the school to join in with the activities and help find creative ways to bring climate education to life.
The big task today is to drive the electric go-kart out on the track, but firstly we wanted them to interact with sustainability and teamwork. So today we are going around in groups at different stations to see the kids, the next generation, working on these topics and really putting a lot of school time to that with the teachers. I think that's a great thing.
Good job.
One other aspect of their legacy project last year saw the presenting of electric go-karts to the school in collaboration with the Danish Automobile Sports Federation. The drivers spent the rest of the day giving the students pointers as they made their way around the track.
Ja, det gas och det broms. Så då bromsar du.
The reason that we come to places like Greenland is all about legacy. So we're using sport for good, and it's the catalyst of change. And so each of the locations has a legacy project which actually works with the local community. Here we are in the middle of Greenland, and it's about e-mobility and it's about renewable energy. And the power of having a female driver. Young girls are looking up to Hedda and actually understanding that they too could be a driver in the future. And we're in the middle of nowhere here in the Arctic Circle, and we've got kids that have an aspiration to be sports stars, and why shouldn't they? It's one of the parts of the job that makes me and our team feel very, very good about being here.
I'm really grateful to be here in Greenland, and this is an amazing championship that is not only focusing on sports, it's focusing on the bigger picture and what is actually important in the world. The trip itself was something I will bring with me for the rest of my life.
It's great to be a part of this championship, that you got this opportunity to travel to these places like this one in Greenland. It's an incredible experience and a memory for life.
We have loads of great action in store for you this weekend. So to find out where to watch wherever you are in the world, head to the Extreme E website and click on broadcast information, or jump on social media. There's also a QR code somewhere on the screen. Check that out to have an impact on grid play and what may happen this weekend. Okay, time to get back out onto track, and we'll join Andrew Guacamole Coley and Jenny from the Block Gal. What's happening, guys?
Well, clearly we are spiced there today. I love that. Thank you very much. Right, let's get some more action out on track.
Yeah, that's a great look at the start straight there, Jenny. So you can see it's a 4-5 cars wide, but it comes up then to just a series of corners. This is actually much later in the lap, unfortunately, but it's a really long wide straight, and I'm looking at late braking, over under with 2 turns going in different directions. I can't wait for the starts.
You know, a hyperdrive off the start, it's one of the possibilities. We saw it last time out, to really try and get that slingshot and an advantage over your competitor. So maybe a little bit of confusion there for the 2 drivers, and actually you can see here McLaren go back out and suffer a puncture. So problems for them, which mean they didn't manage to complete the whole lap, unfortunately. So once again, Tanner Faust down on runtime.
Yeah, well, it was Emma. So it was Emma who, I believe, had the puncture, and I think that's why she came in a lap early. We were questioning, weren't we, at the time, why she'd come in, unless Tanner had to go out on the same wheel. But yeah, definitely a deflation. Still sending it over the jump. A better luck, I guess, they're hoping for than last time. There was the roll, of course, last time. Was it Emma who was in the car off the start in Sardinia? With the roll, I think it was.
Yes.
2 races in Sardinia.
Yes, I know. I was going to say which one. I can't remember. Right, Chip Ganassi racing next up. It was Sarah Price, then Kyle LeDuc. Their luck finally turning around last time out with the win, and they're looking to do that again. And they could still win this championship title. There's hope for them yet.
There certainly is. Kyle LeDuc keen, isn't he, just for those big W's, for those big wins. You can see as well out of course a lot of rocks, Jenny. Now, when the cars are running solo, not a problem, but when you're running in a tight pack, those rocks are going to get kicked up, and you know, you can end up with broken screens and so on. It's not a major problem, but it is something else for them to be thinking about. It's certainly different terrain than we've seen for close racing before.
Yeah, certainly Greenland had those big boulders,
yes,
didn't they? And that caused some serious damage for some of the cars. So it's all about how you tackle it. And I tell you what, these guys are going to do well this weekend, hopefully, because they know the terrain as well as JBXE. They should go well.
Yeah, Hedda Hozas back in the car with Kevin Hansen. Good to see those 2 heading back up to Greenland and checking out where we were last year. I like to see that the legacy projects are still going on the following year. You know, you can't leave a legacy project and not find out what's happened. So it was nice to see them make the trip up there. Now they're right down at the other end of the world, of course, in Chile. That's that jump, little nosedive again over it. And now a hyperdrive, just a reminder for you, each session, each driver can activate a boost in energy for 4 seconds. Now, they're doing 2 laps, they only get 1 hyperdrive each.
And that crucial for the running, actually, because they got a penalty for not using their hyperdrive and not deploying it. So 5-second penalties, and in fact, a few different teams picking up penalties. So, and I think a game playing going on with some teams as well, not really showing the full hand. So remember, this is just practice. When it comes to qualifying, it could be a totally different matter.
Well, I'll tell you what, these people are the form people, aren't they? Despite this spin for Laia Sands, a 180.
Beautiful.
Acciona Sainz still came in quickest in FP2, so they lost 7 or 8 seconds here and still got the job done. Now, some people, as Jenny's already mentioned, got a little warning for knocking a flag down. It doesn't really matter, does it, in free practice? I think that's why all the teams go full final send because they know there's nothing really to lose. But they were quickest in both free practice sessions. So are Acciona Sainz the team to beat here in Chile?
Well, I think they've got a point to prove as well after last time. Carlos Sainz was bitter about what happened with the RXR team. So he wants to go out there and absolutely get maximum points, maybe stop that Rosberg team from getting the championship this time out, or just in general.
I think just get one over Johan, isn't it? After the contact they had in Sardinia, yeah. I think with a little bit of hindsight, you can look back on that and go, it was just a racing incident. But at the time, yeah, I think everyone was running a little hot, weren't they? This is Christine GZ, who, from the look of her Instagram, Jenny, is feeling a lot fitter than she was last time out.
Yeah, doing all sorts of jumping jacks. She's staying in a hotel that didn't have a gym, so she was using the staircase and showing us all how you don't have to splash the cash to be getting fit. You've just got to have the will. That's the bit I lack.
And she needed to get fit, of course, after breaking her ankle earlier on this year in the crash in round 1 there with Saudi Arabia. Good to see her back up to full fitness, pace a little better here as well. Her and her teammate Lance Woolridge doing their best to get back in the mix.
Yeah, really impressive out there. 10 teams seeing what they can do around this very arid, dry track. And as we said, the fastest in both of the practice sessions. It was the Acciona Sainz team with Leia Sanz and Carlos Sainz showing that they want to take all of the points this weekend and see what they can do about turning around this championship fight and stealing it from RXR.
Well, that's FP2 done and dusted. I've been looking at some of the times, and it is the Acciona Sainz teams who have topped those timing sheets. The car just behind me here as well, we're deep into their garage. A few penalties out there for some teams, but this car, this team, these two drivers are looking quick this weekend. They've certainly got pace, and I'm going to head out now to have a chat with them. King Carlos is here next to me. How are you liking this course?
Yeah, it's a good fun. It's really fast. Not much time to look around because it's really, really fast. You need to be very concentrated in every single meter of the track, and yeah, it's okay.
And you guys are quick this weekend so far as well, but I know it's only Friday. It's only Friday. Laia, a spin for you, but you are the fastest female driver of the day. I think it's safe to say you found the limit out there.
Yeah, I think today is the day to do that. It's better that happened today, but anyway, I feel quite comfortable. I didn't do crazy things. The jumps were good, so I'm happy and confident for tomorrow. But as we said, it's just Friday, and we need to be happy on Sunday.
You do indeed. Now, it's a really close battle for P2 in the standings at the moment. Just 2 points in it between a number of teams, you being one of them. What is the aim, the game plan for this weekend?
We know how close it is. We know how difficult it is to reach the final, and I think it is important that we reach the final, and then in the final, you know, anything can happen, but it's important we manage to reach the final.
Anything can happen, and there is a fair amount of overtaking opportunity out there, isn't there?
I don't think it will be easy as we thought yesterday when we watched the track. I think maybe it will be dusty, we don't know, and it will be not so easy also because these cars are not made for contact, so we will see, it will be interesting.
We'll see, but points are very important, aren't they?
Absolutely, that's why we need to go through first the two qualifying just to make sure we are in good position and no mistakes, no problems, that's important.
Yeah, this is a fast track that will punish mistakes. Thank you both very much, and best of luck to you this weekend. Oh, I can't wait to see them get out there. We've got very, very close margins between a number of teams here at the Copa X Prix. It's going to be a fascinating, thrilling, and particularly dry weekend here in the desert. Let's have a final word now from our commentators, Andrew Curley and Jenny Gao.
Very clear how excited Laura is, and I have to say I echo her thoughts. I think this is going to be an absolute banger of a weekend, I really do. These pictures, just seeing the bank bends, the jumps, it's going to be awesome.
And grid play is now in action, and you can see the Acciona Sainz XE team are the ones leading the way. A whopping 33%, that's good stuff. If you want more information,
The web address is down at the bottom of your screen. Have a little mooch, find out what it's all about, and maybe you can vote.
Yeah, that'll tell you as well where you can watch, and you will want to be watching. Look at that full send over the crest there for GMC Hummer EV Chip Ganassi Racing. There's the new livery for X44, but Carlos Sainz and Laia Sanz, absolutely the pace setters in free practice. Can anyone catch up with them? They're leading grid play as well. They're winning everything so far, Jenny.
What they need to do is win this race to stop RXR doing it and becoming 2 times champions of Extreme E. Let's see what happens qualifying tomorrow, the race on Sunday.
Hyperdrive now.